Hi everyone, for today's book review we're going to be checking out Caronia, Legacy of a Pretty Sister by David Hutchings. This book tends to fall under the radar. It was published all the way back in 1999 when Cunard Line introduced their third Caronia, which was originally the Norwegian Vistafjord. This book covers the three Caronias that have served under the Cunard flag. So you might be thinking, well, what does the subtitle mean? Legacy of a Pretty Sister. That comes from a reference to the original 1904 Caronia. It was part of two ships. So you had in 1904 the Caronia and its running mate, the Caronia. And both vessels were at the time referred to as the Pretty Sisters. They are a landmark step forward for the Cunard Line in terms of size and especially luxury. And the technical achievements as well as the innovations in luxury are all detailed in the first chapter of this book, which looks at the life of the first Caronia from 1904 during its construction through to when it was sold to Japan for scrapping. We get, as you can see up here, there's a stunning cutaway of what Caronia looked like inside, and we get a variety of pictures of the ship, its interiors, how the interiors evolved over time, particularly during some of its early cruises in the 20s, right through to the very end when it was last photographed in Japan, awaiting the scrapper's torch. Naturally, the bulk of this book refers to the more iconic and well-remembered Caronia, the one from 1949, which went by the grand nickname of Green Goddess, the wonderful, unique, green liveried cruise ship. As you can see here, the format follows the first chapter with details of the life of the ship, with a wonderful selection of color and black and white photos. And the careers of the Caronia is detailed in depth, and we get a wonderful insight into what life was like on board this particular ship. The shortest and final chapter of this book looks at the latest Caronia, which started life as Norwegian American Line's Vistafjord, one of the last ocean liners built, and indeed one of the last ocean liners built in an English yard at Swan Hunter. Naturally, because at the time this ship had just entered service as the Caronia, the chapter is rather small, but it serves as an introduction, and this book would have been sold on board. But it is also wonderful, particularly with the selection of photos that have been used for the third Caronia. We get to see a wonderful thread of how accommodation and luxury features have evolved from the 1904 Caronia through to 1949, right through to the 1999 version. This is a wonderful book detailing the stories of three ships in one handy, compact, lavishly illustrated volume. And for that I give this book a 4 captain's hats. It's wonderfully interesting, beautifully illustrated, and again, you get the history of three ships in one wonderful volume. The second Caronia does have another book about it by William H. Miller, but we'll leave that review for another time. So if you enjoy liners, and if you are particularly interested in the ships named Caronia, then check it out. And if there are any other liners or liner books that you're interested in seeing or reviewing, let me know in the comments below, and I will grab them from my library. So until next time, enjoy and happy reading everyone.